Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. Okay. Uh, Pennsylvania Republican Representative Brian Fitzpatrick expressed concern on Tuesday over reports that U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff advised an aide to Russian President Vladimir Putin on the best approach to sell President Trump on a deal to end the war in Ukraine. Um, so, for those who don't know or can't keep up with all the players, Witkoff is working on the United States' behalf to negotiate a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine. Although really, it's a peace deal between Russia. It's an agreement between Russia and the United States that they're going to shove down Ukraine's throat. If you really want to get down to brass tacks, um, on ending the war between Russia and Ukraine. Um, Witkoff in the past has had some gaffes where he misinterpreted something where it was like Russia was going to give up certain territories and things like that. And when Russia was discussed, they basically said the exact opposite. And in this case, we have another problem here. And according to Brian Fitzpatrick, he's like, you should allow Secretary of State Marco Rubio to do his job in a fair and objective manner, and uh, Witkoff needs to stop these ridiculous sideshows and secret meetings that he's doing with his Russian counterparts. Um, so, according to a transcript, Witkoff welcomed Ushakov, who's Yuri Ushakov is a Russian aide to Vladimir Putin. So Witkoff welcomed Ushakov. God, they both sound Russian names, don't they? Suggesting for our bosses to talk on the phone, and the special envoy, and then Witkoff then relayed to his counterpart that Putin should be sure to praise Trump for recent peace achievement, likely referring to the deal between Israel and Hamas, which was signed a few days earlier. Quote, I would make the call and just reiterate that you congratulate the president on his achievement, that you supported it, that you respect that he is a man of peace, and you're really glad to see that it happened. So I would say that I think from that it's going to be a really good call. Coaching Russia on how to flatter Donald Trump so Donald Trump gives you everything you want in your peace plan. Witkoff said frankly to Ushakov, now, me to you, don't let anybody else hear this, I know what it's going to take to get a peace deal done. Donetsk and maybe some land swap somewhere, but I'm saying instead of talking like that, let's talk more hopefully, because I think we're going to get the deal here. And I think, Yuri, the president will give me a lot of space and discretion to get the deal. Trump, for his part, dismissed concerns about the nature of Witkoff's call when asked about it by reporters on Air Force One on Tuesday. That's a standard thing. He's got to sell this to Ukraine. He's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what the deal maker does. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation. So basically, Donald Trump, finally, and I would imagine he's saying the same thing to Ukraine because each party has to give and take. So basically, they're working behind Donald Trump's back. They don't tell him what they're doing. He has no clue what's going on around him. Part of that is because Donald Trump is not a details person. He's just, give me what the final deal is and I'll tell you why I don't like it. That's kind of how he is. But the other thing is, for entertainment purposes only, the dude's addled. His brain is mush. And he probably couldn't keep up with those details. So it's whatever, Stephen Miller decides to tell him that day. Whatever J.D. Vance decides to tell him that day. If anybody's been watching South Park, it has J.D. Vance and Peter Thiel working together on things. And it's really hitting home. You thought Dan Greaney from The Simpsons did a great job with his writing. The South Park is crushing it. Okay, so this is not what an envoy is supposed to do. They're supposed to represent America's best interest, but it's supposed to broker a peace deal that would be equally undesirable by both ends. That way, there's a compromise in there. For folks of this channel, we would probably want a peace deal, which would involve, I don't know, Russia getting the hell out of Ukraine altogether, including the lands in Crimea that you stole in 2014. But hey, that's just me and my viewers. What's the energy between Steve Witkoff and the Russians on this? Why is Witkoff so accommodating to their point of view, almost to the point of rooting them on? This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe all the rantings and ravings of some lunatic who goes on YouTube and reads tarot cards. Foundation of the reading is the Eight of Cups. To me, this is like abandoning your country. The first thought that came to mind, two thoughts that came to mind. Abandoning, and then the Beatles song, Back in the USSR. You don't know how lucky you are, boy. Crossed with decisions, choices to be made. And underneath it all is the Lover's card. How interesting. This could be about the peace deal and trying to keep Russia engaged in not walking away from the table. But decisions need to be made. But there's a Lover's card here. There's like an admiration. It's almost like Witkoff wants to be loved by Putin and the Russian government. There's an underlying admiration almost. He's not a neutral player. He's not a State Department veteran at all. This guy's not qualified to do this job. He should be told to leave. Because he's not biased. There's no bias here. He's supposed to be unbiased, but he's not biased. In the past, you got the Ten of Coins. Witkoff's a millionaire, gotta be a billionaire, right? Hang on for a second. Let me check on that. Okay, so Steve Witkoff was a golf buddy of Trump's. I guess they first met when Witkoff was a young lawyer, ran into Donald Trump in a deli, and Donald Trump didn't any cash, so Witkoff bought him a ham and Swiss cheese sandwich. And for that, you get to be golf buddies, and Witkoff's donated millions to Trump's campaign, which got Witkoff nominated for government positions and eventually the special envoy. Here's where it gets interesting, though. Several journalists and social media users have since recalled Witkoff's history with Russian figures following Bloomberg's report. Bloomberg is the one that broke the story here. Ayn Iverson, an independent reporter covering Ukraine, posted a thread on X that claimed Witkoff has spent 3 decades swimming in Russian money, Russian mob circles, and Russian real estate pipeline. Others cited American journalist Craig Unger, who wrote on Substack recently what he described as Witkoff's tie to the Russian mafia. They both pointed how real estate magazine The Real Deal reported in 2013 that Witkoff submitted a recommendation for indicted Russian mobster Anatoly Golubchik that when he applied to live in a condominium building in New York. They've also tied Witkoff to Len Blavlatnik, a Ukrainian-born businessman who partnered with Russian billionaire Viktor Vekelsberg. Vekelsberg was sanctioned by the U.S. for his ties to Putin, while Blavlatnik, despite divesting from all Russian assets, followed Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Following that invasion, it was sanctioned by Ukraine in 2023. So, yeah, he does have ties to Russia. And with that, this is the underlying thing. He has benefited financially from Russia. That's why I wanted to look it up, because it implies there's money that he's made here. And he's made that from his ties with Russia. He also has ties with the Middle East, too. Current situation is the Nine of Swords. Witkoff is under a lot of pressure right now. He might be under pressure not from necessarily the Russian government directly. He might be under pressure, from the Russian government. He's under pressure. Somebody's got to this guy, which is probably why he's coaching Russian aides on how to approach Trump. By the way, Putin and his crew did exactly what Witkoff said they should do to get in Trump's good graces. And then soon afterwards came the 28-point Christmas wish list that Russia put forward as a peace plan that basically Witkoff and crew translated in Google Translate and offered it up to Ukraine, said, accept this by Thanksgiving or we're cutting off all funding and intelligence to you. They've got the screws to this guy. Overarching energy is the Seven of Cups. I'm not going to say it's integrity because it's a lack of integrity. It's not taking the good and not wanting to take the bad. So in some ways, Russia and his ties have made this man the money that he's made, but it comes at a price. And now it's time for him to pay the price. What I'm saying is he's under pressure to do this, probably not necessarily from the Russian mafia, but imagine it's the Russian mafia doing this because they have stuff that they want to do that this war is preventing them from doing, or they want to get into Ukraine and expand operations, that kind of thing. The lesson to be learned is the Seven of Coins. And while I'm on the mafia theme, who remembers that great Godfather quote? Make him an offer he can't refuse. He's weighing the offer. Whatever's causing anxiety, whatever's compromised his integrity, he's weighing that offer. Is it going to be enough? Is getting all 28 parts of this enough to get me out of the anxiety situation I'm in? Outcome is the Four of Wands. Interesting. He is either going to be accepted, and unfortunately, given the way the news has gone this week, it seems like Witkoff is like, I don't have to ask specifically, it's like Ukraine's going to accept some of this. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm not the one fighting here. Anyways, he's this feeling of acceptance versus being kicked out. I think he's doing everything he can to be accepted. I don't think he's trying to get out. I think he's trying to be accepted back in a position where he's not like this anymore. So he's doing what he's being told. This Congressman Ted Lieu basically said, traitor. This is pretty much treason. This is working against your country's best interests. When you're coaching Russia on how to negotiate with the United States, you're not representing the United States' best interest. You just aren't. For God's sake, how did we get here? How are they? If Witkoff is being compromised, how is he being compromised? What are they compromising with? What's the energy around that? They're going to reveal something. They've got compromise on them. It feels like more legal stuff that will get him in trouble with the law. Evidence, like a honeypot type thing. Or could just be money altogether. Yeah, it's something that they've been sitting on. They could reveal. And it's probably money that he's hidden. Money, it's like a money thing. That somebody could leak that he's got hidden funds overseas or something along those lines. The victory card here. It's either successful business deals or there's something involving money and success that he's had that may not be on the... It's like he successfully hidden money or something like that. It's about secrets and law breaking. So basically, probably something that would may not bankrupt him, but it would be some giant financial crime. Now I don't know why Witkoff would be so upset. Give Donald Trump a $50 million and you can just buy yourself a pardon and then you get to keep all your money or something like that. Don't even bother taking it. Well, of course, that doesn't stop the civil part of it. But that's kind of how this current administration runs. Yeah, they're again, entertainment purposes only. I just reading tarot cards. Nico just came running in to scratch on the scratching post. I was about to say, Elle's got to be around here somewhere with him because he's acting like she's going to get him. She's in a chair off to the side. He's down right there. Cat break for cats. Let me turn up the brightness here. Cats. It's what we do in this house. All right. You probably won't see the cats. Much better than that. Black cats don't come up. No. Okay, wait a minute. She's stalking him now. There we go. Cats on paper. Life's really good in my office. We just had a cleaning crew come through here. Michelle's coming back from vacation in Japan, and she asked if we could get a cleaning crew through the house here so that when she comes home, the house is tidy and clean and spick and span. So I did it. Normally I would clean up myself, but my back said F you. And I don't really want to throw it out again. It wasn't pleasant the first time, and it's not fully recovered, as I've discovered multiple times this week, just twisting around in my sleep. Okay. TMI. So Witkoff seems to have some problems here. Is Donald Trump even remotely aware of the compromise that Witkoff has? Got the 5 of coins, 9 of cups, Queen of cups, Page of pentacles, and the Lover's card. I don't think it's answering the question. It's not. I mean, if it was answering the question, I would say is he doesn't have a lot of faith in him. He would like to change him with somebody else, somebody who's better suited for it. But he's waiting to see if Witkoff can deliver. But that's not really what I'm getting here. It's kind of like. It's funny, it matches the story. When I didn't have money, this guy came through and bought me a sandwich. So I gave him jobs and he's done modest work for me, that type of thing. But to me, it's almost like Trump feels like he wants to be loved too. And he's not getting the love from Russia. The back to the daddy issues. I want daddy to love me, so I'm offering this up. In some ways, Trump doesn't judge Witkoff by the actual work Witkoff is doing. The vibe I'm getting is Trump is judging Witkoff by how much love is showered onto Trump by the Russian government and Vladimir Putin. Again, I could be way off base on that, but that makes sense to me, throwing these cards and then trying to take into account Witkoff's actions in Trump's personality. I mean, Witkoff basically said as much. Schmooze this guy. And we've heard that for years. All you do is kiss his butt, and then all of a sudden he'll give you anything you ask for. I don't know why Witkoff would feel the need to let Putin's aide know that. Putin's already got this thing figured out. I guess some things just require reminding. I don't know. Or at least, Russia is saying, well, this belongs to us. He's trying to say, well, stop that approach. Start this different approach. You'll find you make even more headway with Trump. And then I've got the ability to negotiate things. And that's where Witkoff's trying to, the Lover's card thing going on here. But they both get the Lover's card when it comes to Russia. Wild. Will Ukraine accept this proposal that's going through right now? The Magician. They said they agreed to something in parts. Let's see what the rest of this comes up. The High Priestess, the 4 of Swords, 9 of Coins. Ten of Wands. Oh, it's a hard decision to make. It's like they kind of want to. Or they might try a counter proposal. They're going to sit on it a little bit. I think what they want is they're trying to give some, by agreeing to some of it, I think they're trying to encourage Trump to keep these hard negotiations going. They're trying to buy time. But there's a money component and an intelligence component. And I think what they're trying to find out, they might be buying time to let Congress weigh in on this and apply pressure to the Trump administration. Because I think Ukraine realizes without American goods, military equipment, and especially without American intelligence, they're going to have a hard time with this war. We're going into the wintertime now, and not a lot happens in the wintertime. With the snow and everything like that, the offensives tend to go dormant, and that's when everybody starts digging in. And then the spring comes and everything thaws out, and it's too muddy to really do anything. So all the offensives have to take place near the end of spring, beginning of summer, and through fall before the snow starts. So you get 6 months of fighting and 6 months of really not 3 months of dormancy and 3 months of slop. And maybe what they're trying to do is they're just trying to pad this thing out till they get to the dormant phase, because it's costing Russia a lot of money, and maybe they can squeeze out an economic victory here, something like that. In all this, Marco Rubio seems to be shut out. What steps is Marco Rubio taking in all of this? Supportive? Leaking? What's Marco Rubio doing during all this going on? Seven Carter. We've got the Five of Wands, the Hillbilly Brawl card, and the Four of Swords laying back. Fighting for things, at the same time needing a break. And temperance, detoxification, integration. Rubio seems like he's got two main jobs too, right? Doesn't he have like 4 jobs or something like that? I think the problem that Rubio's facing is that he's doing all these different jobs that don't involve him. And he needs to focus on being Secretary of State, but he doesn't have the time. The dude needs a break. He absolutely needs a break. In the past, the Seven of Cups, this is the unreasonable asks that are being made of him. Current situation is the World card. He's supposed to be Secretary of State. He's supposed to be dealing with issues around the world. What is he? I know he's got other jobs. What does he got? What does he have to work on here? Hang on for a second. Okay, he was. So Secretary of State, he's also the acting administrator to the U.S. Agency for International Development, USAID. And then he made Rubio the acting archivist at the National Archives and Records Administration. So, yeah, he's got a lot of stuff on his plate. And really, he was hired to do this job. And he doesn't have the time to do it. And I think he wants it. He wants to be doing this job. Overarching energy is the Five of Cups. The master of none, jack of all, master of none. It's like Trump is shutting him out on this. There's a disappointment here. If things are getting leaked out that are negative about the Trump administration with this, I wouldn't be surprised if you find out that some of the sourcing is from Rubio, because he's not happy. And I think he wants to go back to that role, and other people are messing it up. The lesson to be learned is the Seven of Wands. Fighting fighting for it. No, he's in the struggle and he's fighting as best he can, but he's exhausted. Interesting. The World card is the completion of the cycle. The Wheel of Fortune is the cycle continuing. As I pointed out, these figures, you got a lion, a bull, an eagle, and like an angel. These are the final parts. This is the transition part. So there's a transitory nature to this. It's almost like he's being transitioned out of the Secretary of State role, and he's trying to fight to keep that position. He's not happy. He's not happy. I wonder if he's going to give up the fight. I can ask. This reading's all over the place. Well, Marco Rubio stepped down from the Trump administration. Just work hard. Is he going to step down? The Seven of Cups just came flying out. Leave that down there. It's about integrity and illusions and delusions. Now, I think, again, for Witkoff, this was, only wanting the good, not the bad. For Rubio, it's about integrity and winning and losing. The Hermit card, the thievery, and the truth, and the intelligence. What... Oh, God. All right, so if he was a whistleblower, he would point out where the theft is coming out. He would expose it and expose the truth. So if he decides, and the secrets that are happening, if Rubio decides he wants to save his butt, if he shows some integrity and wants to save the country, he may spill secrets about what's going on behind the scenes, exposing the truth. That's the most positive spin I can put on this one. Whether he stays in the position or leaves. So, he might be in a position where if he thinks this administration's going down and he realizes that Trump has immunity to be king, but he does not, I don't think he wants to go down with the ship. And he may expose what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know who he's going to expose it to. You can't trust the DOJ with Pam Bondi in there. You can't trust the FBI with Kash Patel in there. I'm not sure about the CIA. How much the CIA can help, or the NSA. I suppose you could talk with some Democratic congressmen, some leaders on the Democratic Party. These guys, they're kind of stuck. It's a very interesting position that we find ourselves in. Because who do you trust? Well, we'll find out. Maybe one day. Thank you very much for watching this video and supporting my channel. I appreciate it. This reading is for entertainment purposes only, but I hope you found it insightful, and I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.